Hey Bibliophiles, let's break it down. If you've ever joked about quitting your job to open a bookstore, today's guest actually did it. Katie turned her Bookstagram passion into the Freckled Page earlier this year, an independent bookstore in Greenville, Illinois, proving that sometimes the dream can be reality. This is what dreams are made of. We're going to dive into her journey of how she's gone from book influencer to bookstore owner, the challenges behind the scenes, and what it's like creating a home for readers in her community. Hi, Katie. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good. When you told me you were doing this, I screamed out loud,
You know
and
it.
I knew this was going to be exciting, but I also knew this was going to be a lot of hard work. So now that you're in it, how is it going?
It's good. It's been a really busy, what is it, 3 months? Yeah, I mean, it's been super fun, but it has been, I feel like I'm just nonstop all the time.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so, like, what does a day look like for you now?
Well, I mean, now I have a pretty good routine down. So I usually, if we get any packages in the USPS, I'll open those. Usually they're from like stickers I've ordered or little small things will come in the US mail. So I'll open those and then I have to make barcodes and I have to put them in the inventory and so I have to do all that and that probably takes an hour depending on how much. Recently I bought a lot of stuff. So it takes I like all day today that's all I did because I've just I blacked out and I bought a lot of stuff and so anyway, I will update. We have some revenue trackers, so I update all the stuff for there. I look at reports, I look at our inventory just to see our status on some things. I'll scroll through Ingram, which is the wholesale book ordering site, and see what's coming out and if we need any. And so they'll do a little bit of shopping. I check our book orders, see if there's anything I need to order. And if I have ordered some, then I check like the status of their shipping and where they're at. And that'll usually takes me into like the store opening and then a little bit earlier or a little bit later past that. And then just depending on how busy we are, it's just more of the same.
Yeah. And then how has the community reacted to you taking ownership?
So me and the previous owner are friends and we're very similar. So like the vibes are like everything is the same pretty much. I just buy a lot more stuff because I can't stop. So like nothing really has changed from the previous owner and me. Like I mean it wasn't you wouldn't know except for the new logo on the door. So everybody's been great. All of my friends, all of the book club friends. You never realize how many people you know until they like all come to the store. And like your first week, I was like, whoa, I know a lot of people. But yeah, it's been great. So they've been great. They've been buying stuff, which is the best. But yeah, there's not been a lot of no kerfluffles over ownership changing, which has been nice.
Yeah. And I think too, because you have such a great spirit of like talking about books, even if that genre isn't like your usual go to. Like,
Mhm.
because I know you reached out to me and you were like, what are some horror books I should have on the shelves?
Favorite thing is just like pulling stuff out of my ass to talk about a thriller wreck or a horror wreck or like I'm like they would have no idea that I've never read it, but I'm just yapping, and usually it works. And then I'm like, oh, I hope you like it because I have no idea.
But I think that does also like banning of the Bookstagram community together because it's like, I wouldn't know what to recommend someone for a romance. Like, God forbid someone
Yeah,
comes up to me and goes, I want a spicy book full of smut. I'd be like, I am so not your girl. Let me talk to
yeah,
Katie real quick.
yeah. I mean, that's a lot of when I doom scroll at night. I look at your post every time you post a review. AJ Creeping at Thrill. I look at her page a lot. If she posts a review where she's got a good rating, I just like jot it down. But you two are the main ones really for like that thriller, horror-y genre. But anybody really who, I mean, I follow a lot of people, so I just doom scroll and I make a note in my little brain and then put it on my list.
So, what has been moving the most?
I mean, I would say if you had to split the genres of the store into a pie chart, I would say romance or and romantasy take up half. I'm working on the others. I'm building it up. I just don't have a lot of shelf space. So a lot of romance is usually our most sold genre.
See, and this is why, like, if I ever go, I'm gonna have like a little sticker that says risque reads, and I'm just gonna put it ever so slightly under the main logo. Um,
I wouldn't change it. It's just it's it's just naturally just because of I get arcs. I've been on author street teams in romance and romantasy. That is just like the first thing that I'll buy. So like if I need to restock, that's usually the genre and it takes me a little bit longer to figure out what I want to buy for the YA section or the thriller mystery horror. I call it the scary section because because that's just what it is. I've had to separate out horror though because somebody got jump scared and I was like, whoops, I guess I'll just pull all those out into their own little shelf. But like that and like general fiction, which I don't even, that one's hard to get, but I'm trying to fill them out. We have a lot of used books too, so I really need to weed some of those out so we get more shelf space. But I do have to be kind of picky, even for like the romance and the romantasy. I can't buy everything that I have loved. We just don't have the shelf space for it. So it does take me longer to do the non-romance side, just because I want to make sure I'm buying stuff that I know people will buy and not just the first thing I see.
so what I'm hearing is having a bookstore doesn't equate to just buying any book that you want at any
Correct.
time.
Correct, which is what I wish. I wish we've got some creative setups for books just so we could fit as many as we can. But our store's not big. I mean, this is it. I mean, you can see it wall to wall. Like this is it. So, and we have a kids section. So, I got to be I can't carry every book, which is what I would love to do. And I can't buy every book that I've loved because there just wouldn't be room. But I mean, I do buy a lot. So we're out of space. But so I get creative with like my little shelves and like desktop bookshelves and I'm getting fancy with it, but I do have to be picky, which means when I do like the thriller or the horror or anything else, I like look at people I know who have reviews and all that kind of stuff to make sure I'm buying something that's the people I follow don't say, no, don't read it. So I can at least say, yeah, I heard it's good. So I'm not taking up precious shelf space, I mean, with just rando titles that I just happen to find.
It's funny how, like, as a Bookstagram person, we're like, oh, TBRs, full bookshelves, we love it. But, like, I'm rooting for you to have empty bookshelves because that means sales are good. So
Yes,
it's like an interesting dynamic how that goes 180.
yes, yes. And I have, so like the bottom of our bookshelves are where all our used books are. And so like when I come in on Monday after a weekend, I like to look at the gaps. I'm like, don't touch the bookshelves because I want to see the gaps and like what we've bought and what has sold. And then I'll shuffle everything around after I'm done perusing.
Is this like bringing out like a nerdy analytical side of you?
The amount of reports that I look at for no reason are ridiculous. Ridiculous. But it's so fun. I have graphs and charts and for no reason. I just like to look. I like to know who buys what, who's coming back, what products they bought together for no reason. I don't need that information. It's just fun.
Well, I mean, you don't need it, but like I feel like it just keeps you as an educated business owner of like what's working, what does your community want, what isn't working for whatever reason.
Yes, it is like the greatest feeling when I order something and then somebody buys it. Because I'm just like, yes, I did it right. Like somebody, there is a market for this, especially when they buy all of it. And then I'm like, perfect. I can ease myself and feel good about spending X amount of dollars on whatever it was because somebody bought it.
So is it still like stressful as you make these orders? Like, is it gonna work out? What if they like it? What if they don't like it?
For sure doesn't stop me. So I'm not really sure if that's like a me thing where I'm like, I just live in a state of stress because I'm like, oh, I've just bought all of this stuff. I have a sticker problem. I will spend tons of time looking for stickers, and if they make me laugh, I buy them. And that's just the way it is. We probably have more stickers than we really ever truly need, but I don't care.
Well, and I think when you mentioned like this might be a thing, like I told myself like, okay, if Katie's gonna do this, like she's not gonna half-ass it. Like
No.
I feel like the only person you had to convince was yourself
Yeah.
because if once you learned that like, yeah, this is gonna be hard work, but you decided you were in it, I was like, Katie's gonna be the person that throws her entire soul into this.
Yeah. Yeah, it really, especially when it comes to like supporting indie authors, like that is super fun for me is to order books from indie authors and then turning around and selling them immediately. Like that makes me feel really good. We're starting book clubs again, our first one's this week. And so having, being able to say at the end of every book club, we get to vote on what our next read is. And I usually we'll have two options, sometimes three. I think it's three this time. And I like that I get to put up an indie, like I put up an indie author because I read them. And it's just nice to be able to say, here's an indie author that you might not have heard of before, but great, here, I have their books right here, then you can buy them. So that's been super fun. And we've done quite a bit of sales with indie authors, and I am just very happy about it.
That's awesome because I think for people besides seeing it on Instagram or TikTok or whatever,
Yeah.
if their algorithm is picking that up, that's great. But, walking into a bookstore and seeing it promoted, it may just be someone who typically doesn't even read, but are going out with their sister or their
Yes.
nephew or whoever that does, and boom.
Yes. And some of these indie authors don't get to ever see their books in a bookstore, so it's just really fun for my favorite indie authors to say, hey, I need to buy your books wholesale. And they're like, great. And then I do. And then they're here and I love it. And it's just a lot of fun. And they're usually my number one top of the rec list. If somebody's asking for something, I always will say, here's an indie option. And, most people don't even know what that means. They don't know that there's any other way of publishing books except for traditional. So it's just really nice to just say, here's an option that you may not have heard of. And, 9 times out of 10, that's what they get.
Well, I feel like a lot of the general public doesn't even understand how like publishing works. I didn't even really know what like the big five was until I started this podcast and talked to a few authors where they were like, yeah, I got pitched to the big five, but then
Yep.
XYZ happened. And I was just like, the big five? So I did some research and it's like, and then there's the self-publishing route, there's like smaller publishing, there's
Yes.
self-printing, like
Yes. And,
it is
people
just
want a lot of times, so we'll like order books for people. So it's, we don't necessarily carry them all the time, but I'll order whatever you want. And then the majority of the time, they're asking for books that are only ebook. They do not print them. And they're like, well, what do you mean you can't get it in print? I'm like, that's a whole separate issue. Kindle Unlimited and, Kindle books does not automatically mean these books are going to be published into print. And so that's been a lot of back and forth where I'm like, like, I can't, it's an ebook only. And you should get it that way. So then if they keep selling, then eventually it will probably be in print, but it's just not right now.
right. It's like I sell the books, I know print the books.
Right. It's like, I don't actually do anything. I just buy them and then turn them around. I'm like, so I can't make it appear into print for you. But so it's been a lot of that back, like educating, which is funny because like I don't really know anything. I'm just a girl who was on Bookstagram for a while. Like, I'm not an expert in publishing, right? So it's just funny that people will be like, oh, yeah, they said that you have the best recs for this, or like, this. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm not an expert. Like, this doesn't automatically make me the authority on XYZ, which some people do think I am, which is nice. But it just makes me laugh because I'm like, I don't know anything. I know nothing.
No, you know everything. Well, I also like the educational videos, like breaking it down. Like, I didn't realize how authors were paid out through Kindle Unlimited. And like,
Yes.
I don't think a lot of people understand that buying the book, the physical book, when possible, is just so much better for the author. Like, of course, like, budget is budget. Like,
Right.
do not go into debt or like financial ruin to buy a book. But I saw one indie author break it down and she was like, if I wanted to make $100 today, like, I could have someone buy 4 copies of my book, or they'd have to read like X number of absurd pages on
Yeah,
Kindle
like
Unlimited. And I was like,
or something.
dang.
Mm-hmm. It is interesting. When I've been on a couple authors' street teams, and I'll ask them, like, what is the best way for me to buy your books? Does it make a difference? Is it better? Some of the authors, they're indie published, but you can still get their books wholesale on Ingram, which is like the big wholesale order. They like have a lockdown on the market. I think they're probably the only book wholesaler. Or do you buy directly through their website? Like, does it cost them too much money to print the books themselves, et cetera, et cetera? So really, I think sometimes it depends on how they're printing their books and what the covers are like, and how, if there's sprayed edges or if there's gold foil or, whatever they've put on their cover. But yeah, a lot of times it's buy it directly instead of, and people are trying to stay away from Amazon, but at the end of the day, ebooks are so accessible. And I
Yeah.
don't think that that's going to go away, but alternatively, either buy the ebook outright for, what is it, $5 probably, maybe $14.99 if it's a brand new book, versus a Kindle Unlimited borrow. I mean, it does make a difference if you can.
Yeah. And I think I'm really struggling with Amazon, especially Kindle Unlimited. I recently took a step back from Kindle
Mhm.
Unlimited. I have my local library that
Yeah.
allows me to have ebook access, but Honk If You Read, Joe, she tipped me off that the Queen's Library in New York, you can get access to their ebook and audiobooks. I
Yeah.
think it's only like $50 a year, and it's like, I would much rather give money to a
Yes.
library than.
Yes. Especially if you're not reading, books upon books upon books a month. You know what I mean? Like, if you're the average reader, that's probably the way to go.
But see, also, I have commitment issues with physical books because I'm a minimalist. I'm a very weird bookstagrammer where like I
Yes.
only keep books if I really. So like if I
Yes.
read it from the library, I will be the one to buy that trophy book
Yes.
though.
Yes. See, I should be that way, but I'm not.
Well, this is also why I have the podcast and you have the bookstore.
And it did manifest the way it needed to, because if it's pretty, I'm getting it. That's really all there is to it. I probably have more unread books on my bookshelf than read, which is fine. I did weed out and I sold a lot. Now I thought owning a bookstore would be better for me, that I wouldn't buy so many books, but that's incorrect. It actually is
Okay.
worse.
I was going to say, what other unexpected little surprises have you found out in your journey of owning a bookstore?
Well, it turns out that if you own a bookstore, you don't actually have that much time to read anymore. You're busy all the time. All the time. Even when I'm not here, I'm busy. It's just, I'm like, how am I supposed to read? I don't understand. It never fails. I'll think I'll have a slow day. Mondays are usually slow, and I'm like, I'm gonna have plenty of time to read today. Brought my books, got my morning stuff done, and I was like, all right, great. No, UPS showed up early and I had like 20 packages, and I was like, well, I guess I'll be here all day long, and I was. So it's just, you don't have time to read, which is why you bought a bookstore, because you love to read, but now you don't have time to read. it's like a weird, and that's not true. I do have time to read, but you know how many books I was going through in a month. That is drastically decreased. So I still read every day. It's just the amount that I'm able to read. Turns out when you work every day, you don't have time to read. Who
Well,
knew?
it's also, with the hours you're putting in at the store.
Yeah.
Because then we turn around and go home and we have to be with our families, and there's
Yes.
only
Nine
20.
times out of 10, I'm checking. We use Shopify, and so I have the app. And so 9 times out of 10, I'm back and forth, even when I'm at home, just checking and say, okay, did they get swamped? Do I need to go in and help? Like what do I need to do? Like it's just, and I'm just nosy. I like to know people buy. So I'm just like looking. But I'm literally like my brain is always on the store mode. So you just, which is fine. It's fun still. I'm not, I think I'm not close to burning out. I do have balance, but it's just it's not stress that's making me do it when I'm not here. I just like to know things. I like to have my fingers in all the pies.
It's almost like the Neopets storefront, like
Yes.
constantly refreshing to see what sailed. Like it just hooked us
Yeah.
millennial girlies so hard into like, well,
Yes.
what changed? What changed?
Exactly. That's all. And being aware of revenue and what goals we have for the month, that is something I'm like every day I'm updating. My spreadsheet doesn't need to be updated only weekly, but I'm doing it every day. I have a weekly tab, a monthly tab, and a quarterly tab, and I update those every single day. I don't need to do that, but it's just like I just want to know where we're at and what we need, if we need to do anything. And right now we don't. We're good. So that makes me happy. But it is something that, I mean, I know what our monthly revenue is off the top of my head because I've looked at it so much.
Well, I think in any business, a
Yes.
sign of success is being intimately aware of what
Yes.
your business is doing. So,
Yeah. I mean,
I mean,
I look at what products sold the most over the week, quantity wise and dollar wise. So I just, it's just things that, do I really need to know or look at it as frequently? Probably not. I would be fine if I did it, maybe twice a month. But I do it every day, every week, just because I think that might change, the further on we get. But I just like to know what has sold and, what are we out of? What did somebody buy 7 of these things and I need to get more before the weekend? Like it's just a lot of little things that I think because I'm a girl, I probably think of a lot more because it's the same thing with kids, right? Like you're like, okay, they're almost out of these pants, they're almost out of this side. Like it is almost equivalent to that. So now I have 3 children and one of them is the bookstore.
well, and I was going to say too, it, I wonder how that's, because, reading books and
Hmm.
being a bibliophile, that was very much you. And then being a wife, being a mom, that's very much us. But like, how does it feel now to like introduce yourself and be like, I own a bookstore?
It's weird. And I don't usually say that. I usually don't. I it's like the people who know and I don't need to tell anybody else. I'm just a very much like a I would prefer nobody knew me, but that's just, not the way it goes when you're in a town of 7,000 people. So I don't normally do that. I will say it's me if somebody asks, but I'm not, I would no thank you.
Not like, hi, I'm Book Barbie. Like Dr.
No,
Barbie, Lawyer Barbie. I'm Book Barbie.
no, I don't want you to know my business. Like, you don't need to talk to me about it because that makes me want to melt and die a little bit. But I have gotten a little bit better about it. And really, honestly, I'm here all the time. So, like, I don't ever see people that I don't recognize or know.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're not drinking coffee and reading all day. We are like Bruce Wayne hiding in the background of the business.
which really I can't do because I'm the only one here for the majority of the day. So,
Yeah, but if you didn't tell anyone and if they didn't already know, they
no,
could just assume you're an employee.
exactly. But I mean, again, our town is super small, so everybody knows. But like on the weekends, those people don't know, and I do not say a thing.
Could you imagine if someone is just like, there was this girl working at Freckled Page and she had off campus playing?
Guess what? On my computer and on the playlist on Spotify, I don't know what to tell you. We're off
It's
campus
like,
fans here.
no, that's my store and I run it the way I please. And if you've got a problem with off campus,
Literally, don't even talk to me about it. Love it. That is, I feel like I need like a warning sign because someone will be like, "Is this a good book?" And they'll be holding up the deal. And I'm like, if you don't have 20 minutes to talk about this, then don't ask me. I am going to give you my thesis on why this is the greatest series and why the TV show is so great. And if you don't have time for that, just assume the answer is yes. It's literally at the front of the store. There's like a shrine, okay? We have stickers, we have candles, we have all the books. If you don't have 20 minutes to dedicate to why I'm going to tell you about our Lord and Savior, Garrett Graham, don't ask me. I'm not the one. I'm
I
not
was
gonna
gonna
say, "Oh,
ask,
it's
like,
great, move on."
I was gonna ask, like, do you have staff picks up at the front and like with
We
off
do.
campus all on it? And you already answered the question.
Yeah, we'll change it out like every month of like our current reads. 90% of the time, it's a book that I'm going to read and I just haven't gotten to it yet. But I did, like every week, I would just change out for the next off campus book because I'm just like, here I am. I'm
Yeah.
reading them, listening to them. I have all the shirts. Don't come at me. They're fantastic.
That's true. You have really cute shirts in your store. I
So,
love them.
yes, the previous owner makes them. So she sells her stuff here now. I know. Because she did that while she was here. So she did that and the bookstore. And now she just does the screen printing and the embroidery. And so she makes us a lot of great stuff.
Oh my God. Y'all check out, yeah, I'll link on the your Instagram below and the website. But like I'm always excited when you say that the shirts have restocked because they are
Yes.
so
She,
funny.
they are, and they're so good. Some of them I do order from other places if they're like super specific. But she makes really great stuff, and her stuff always sells.
So I feel like too that I love a good bookish merch, but especially shirts because that's almost a way of like just trying to get other bibliophiles in the wild because if they talk about my shirt, I know you're a reader and then I'm going to talk to you for 20 minutes.
We had a lot of, we had like a Twilight Banty shirt, and that sold I mean, with the swiftness, it was gone. We've had two different variations of Hermione shirts, and those are all gone. So I make sure to grab mine at the beginning before I even put them out because I'm like, these are mine. You public can have them later, but these are mine. Yeah. So there's just things that like the shirts will always sell. Shirts, sweatshirts, anything bookish. I think that's probably all I own now these days. I'm always wearing a bookish shirt. And why not?
Proud book Barbie,
Literally. And sometimes,
comma CEO, COO.
yes, it'll be like obscure too, and everyone's in public's like, "Where'd you get that?" And I was like, "Oh, my bookstore. It's actually mine."
See?
Yeah,
See?
yeah. So it's just that's really fun. I love bookish merch in any form. I love a t-shirt. I like bookmarks. I like stickers. Anything that you can put something bookish on. We have like bookish perfume roller balls. And there's like a cowboy romance and a dark romance and a wing leader scent. And they came in car air fresheners. Yeah. We got candles. I have candles coming because I can't stop buying stuff. Yeah. Anything that you can put something bookish on, yeah, I am your demographic and I will buy it.
I'm gonna have to hit you up for the cowboy romance merch stuff because the cowboy romance girl I know is graduating from getting her
Well,
master's.
the rollerball smells really good.
Okay. I'm gonna have to hit you up because I get her nothing but cowboy romance stuff now
Yeah.
that she's living her cowboy romance life, so
Well,
I
honestly,
will tell you after this.
celebrate that, right? Yeah. So anything that people can make bookish, Sign me up.
So when, like, at the end of the day, because, like, once again, wife and mama too, and your head hits the pillow, you know, have you had any regrets? Are you scared out of your mind still? Like, how are you feeling?
Oh no. I live in a land of delusion. I'm great. I am. Everything is great. Everything is fine. The store will make money perpetually. There is no, there is no, nothing. There's nothing going on in my brain about, well, maybe what if this doesn't, I don't care. No, it will never. It will be great. Everything will be fine. I live, my mom, who owns it with me, she's the one who's like, oh my God, it's gonna, what if we can't make payroll? And I'm like, no, bestie, it's fine. Like, I'm like, do you see this money coming in? And she's like, but you're spending it. I'm like, right.
I'm investing it back in the business.
Yeah. I'm like, right. I do forget that, yes, it's coming in, but I'm also spending it. No, I live in a land of delusion and everything will be fine.
So I'm seeing like a new trend like book ban, but it's like bookstore owner book buying ban.
Literally, we were having a sale July 1st to the 4th because I have to clear off space because I don't have room for all of the books that I have just bought last night. Like, I just, I can't stop.
Well, I've talked to a few other indie bookstore owners too, and like there's just this common theme of like you have to believe with your whole soul it's going to work
You
out.
have to. I have to live in a land of delusion. Like, maybe I'll order a book order and maybe none of those books sell for a month, but they will. It's just, it is what it is, and that's part of, there will always be new books that come out, right? So there's always new books that you're going to have to buy. You just have to live in the land of make believe. And, it's part delusion. Part of it is, I know the people who will buy them, right? I know new romantasy books, you won't keep those on the shelf. We keep, like ACOTAR and Throne of Glass and Fourth Wing and Spark of the Other Flame. Like, all of those series are always full. Like, we always have them. And maybe 2 weeks goes by and nobody buys one. But guess what? Someone always does. So that person has to just come in.
See, I was at one of my local bookstores, and they had like one copy of Butcher and Blackbird, and I was buying it for a friend. And like I had just pulled it off a shelf, and like another woman was like, "Oh, that was the book I was looking for," and I was like,
You're like, no,
and I
no.
touched it first.
Yeah.
But the owner was like, "Oh no, I have more in the back," and I'm like, "Oh,
Yes.
that's really smart of her. Like
Yes.
she's thinking of scarcity."
Well, because we don't have a lot of shelf space, we usually only
Mhm.
have one or two copies, depending on the size of the book, on the shelf. But I have racks in the back because we wouldn't be able to have half of these books if we put every copy we have on the shelf, right? So we're generally, and I don't know how I remember, but I have like a catalog of what is in the back and what isn't. And so if I know somebody, if I'm here and I'm, ringing people up and they buy a copy of Lights Out, for instance, I know we have another one in the back, and then I just go put it back on the shelf because those books, people buy them. And you
See, I feel
just
like instead of shelfie Sunday, we need stock Sunday. Show us your
literally,
stock.
literally, because there's a lot. I usually like my normal quantities that I'll buy. So Ingram wholesale, I think you get like 42% off, right? But if you buy less than 5 of each book, you get 40% off. So my minimum quantity for most of these books is 5, right? If it's like a romantasy book, I'll buy 10. If it's a new release that's like super popular, like the new Spark of the Other Flame comes out in September, maybe, like I know that my order for that's gonna be bigger. But I just have like a rolling, need to order this book, need to order this book, need to order this book. The Harry Potter books go crazy. So we have like 3 different editions. We have the fancy ones that are illustrated, and I just, every time someone buys one, I just replace it, get another one, get another one.
So this is why people think you know so much. Ingram? Like, is this something that only bookstore owners have access to, or like, could I go on it?
No, you cannot go on it. Yeah. Yeah,
They
it
like
took a
check that
lot.
you're like a certified business.
Yes, and you have to get your certificate of resale and blah blah blah. Like it was a whole thing. But they're like the only ones that are wholesale books. So like they kind of have a lock on the market and they can do whatever they want. Their website, their interface is probably 15 years old. It's terrible.
Yeah, and the weird thing is, I was talking to Jamie, the owner of the Rogue Bookshop, and she was saying like a lot of her day to day is like, well, for certain books at a certain publisher, I have to call, but then this other place, it's a email or whatever. And she was
Yeah.
like, I wish there was just one platform. And I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna IM her after this and be
Like
like,
Ingram,
Jamie, did you know about Ingram?
for traditionally published, it's great. Indie books will sometimes be on there and they'll be a less discounted price, but that's where I do it. Fair is like a wholesale marketplace. All of the big five publishers are on there. A couple smaller ones are. So, and you get a 50% off. I mean, it's 50% on Fair. So if it's on there, I get it there. So I'm like back and forth. If I'm Fair has an app. So at home and when I'm in bed, I'm just like scrolling, seeing what new books have popped up today. And I'm just that's where we get
That's
all
dangerous.
it's it's bad. This is where I get all of our merch, all of our bookish merch, all of our stickers, perfume, candles. What else have I ordered? Jewelry is coming, Kindle cases. It's bad. It's a wonderful place, but it is bad for me because and it's fair, so you have terms. So it's like they want you to sell the product before you're paying for the product, so you don't pay for 60 days. Yes. And so when I know that everything on one invoice for a business has been sold, I'll then pay that invoice. So I'm always back and forth checking and keeping, and it links with Shopify, so it's so easy. It's the best. It's the best. They make it so easy to spend money. But they have great stuff. A lot of small businesses and a lot of small artists and makers are on there. So it's really, you're not buying stuff from Amazon on a different, it's like the same warehouse, just a different website. It's from people. And it's really nice. They usually give you little goodies as a thank you. This one person always sends gummy bears. I'm like, thanks. Yeah, they're
Like,
great.
what?
It's just little small businesses who just offer their products wholesale.
What whimsy. I love that.
Yeah. And I always say we need more like weird girl stuff in the store. And that you can find on Fair. We have a lot of cryptid, like Bigfoot, Mothman, all that. So we have a lot of that, a lot of kids' books, a lot of stickers, anything weird, a lot of really funny LGBTQ stickers and pride stickers that just make me giggle, and which is hit or miss in this town, but the people who don't like it don't normally come in here anyway, so I'm not worried about it. I've gotten more in your face than the previous owner just because of her connections with like a lot of people in town, and I don't have those. So I'm just like, in your face gay is kind of the vibe, and it's been really great so far. So the people who are buying them really love them. And I just find them hilarious and they're funny and they're cute and I just can't stop buying.
Yeah, there's one I read, Sarah Van Oss. Her episode is a previous one by the
Yes.
time y'all are watching this for decomposition book. And I'm like, typically not my cup of tea, but everyone's saying how great it is. And I'm so happy I read that book. It is so uniquely funny, but serious at the same time. Like the dark humor
I do enjoy.
gives in that book.
Yeah.
Girl, you gotta read it. I know you've got like no time to read,
Yes,
but there's spice.
we're gonna have to keep like a shared notes app or something where you just like put in book recs and I'll just or like a Google Doc something all in one
I
space.
got you.
And I can just check, check, check. Like, I
Yes.
think I probably have every Nat Cassidy book ever. Only because the only reason I know who he is because of you. And every time I see one, I'm like, oh, I know who that is. I'm gonna buy that book. Like, it's ridiculous. I'm like, I've never read them. And they sell. I mean, people are buying them because I have 1,600 of them. I think I have everything he's ever written because I'm just like, well, it's here. I'm gonna buy it.
My God, I'm blushing right now.
Right? So if Nat Cassidy notices a spike in his sales in Greenville, Illinois, that's me. I'm doing it.
My close personal friend, Nat Cassidy. For those that are listening, Katie and I joke about authors that have never met us or probably talked to us a day in our lives are our close personal friends. And so when the Twisted Spine, another indie bookstore, was doing signed copies for his release of I Know a Place, I had Nat signed to my close personal friend Kendall
Yes.
only for the picture that I could send Katie
Yeah.
as part of our joke.
You know, like authors who like your comment, I'm like a close personal friend.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a joke. They don't know who I am, but it brings me great joy.
So I don't know, like, I feel like Goodreads is like my next thing to decouplify myself from. See, here's the thing. Like, Goodreads, I want to keep because I want to review arcs and get, awareness, but like, it's also owned by Amazon, and you know my grudge with Amazon.
And I think I've been using Goodreads since it existed. So like I have every book that I have ever read in my life, I have it on Goodreads. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, I want the data, but I don't necessarily want the app. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm thinking I could just make the risque reads bookshelf and just put my recommendations there for you.
Yeah. That would be good. I think you
Okay.
can share bookshelves with people, can't you?
Yeah, you can make them public.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that then.
Good. My Goodreads sucks, but like,
I know. I saw Storygraph just announce that they are partnering with Kobo. Kobo? Is that how you pronounce it?
yeah, I think so.
Kobo?
And
To
I
kind of
also
do.
have beef with Storygraph, so I feel like it's on the same level as Goodreads interface wise, and it irritates me.
Yeah, but I think Storygraph is like just like one girl working
It
on it. Like
is. So
one.
like kudos to her. I still use it.
Yeah.
I have 5 tracking apps. It's ridiculous. And I will use them all. But I'm like,
For the data.
literally, I just want, all the data from all the different places. Fable's probably my main one because the interface is so nice. It gives you all the same data as Storygraph. It's just pretty. And I'm a sucker for pretty. So I have a lot. I have Fable and Storygraph and Pagebound and Goodreads. And I have one that's just for my arcs that tells me like when they're due. And then I have one called Uncovered maybe, which that one is also kind of junky, but they make really great graphics for you. And they have like, read a book from every state or that takes place in every state, and they put your little books on the thing for you. I know. So again,
Whimsy.
it's weird and I like it, and it takes me 20 minutes to track all of my reading every night when I update my apps, but I'm loving it. Brings me great joy.
Katie, this is why people think you know everything. You named like 2 apps that I didn't even know existed.
And I didn't know either until a friend recommended them, so I'm spreading the love.
It's just like a game of telephone. Like, hey, Joe said you can get a Queen's library card digitally.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, did you know there's these other apps that like make graphics? Like,
Exactly. Yeah. So it is kind of similar. Like someone will be like, "Do you have this book?" And I'll like walk right over to where it's at and pull it out. And everyone's like, "How do you know that?" I'm like, I think that's the ADD or like maybe a little spicy extra neurodivergent autism something or other. Like I don't know how I remember exactly where on the shelves they are, but I'll just walk right up, and if they say, "Do you have this book?" and I know we don't have it, I check just to make sure, but the answer, I'm usually right. So I don't know, maybe that's my superpower.
yes, you are
So
Book Barbie. That is your superpower.
that's literally, so they do think I know everything, but I'm like, I really just know what's in my store. don't know everything, but if it's here, I know exactly where it's at. Except for one book I lost, but it's fine. I don't know where it went, but somebody bought it, and I was like, I have been looking for that book, and I wanted to know where it was at. They found it.
Okay, somebody bought it at least. I was like, do we have a shoplifting scenario here?
It wasn't put in to whatever job. Like, I don't know where it went. It was misshelved somewhere. And I mean, I spent a lot of time looking for that. It was a T. Kingfisher book. I forget which one it was.
Wolfworm?
No, I think it was like Twisted Places or something like that. I don't know. Couldn't find it. No idea where it went. But then somebody bought it over the weekend. And I was like, I need to know who bought that because I want to know where it was. Like, where did you find this?
I know, like, some people will, like, especially for, like, bookstores that sell used books, like, they will hide it. Like, oh, I'll come back later and buy it. And then they, like, put it somewhere.
I thought I was losing my marbles. I was like, I know this book is here because I saw it. And now it's missing. But then they must, I don't know. They must have got it. So.
See, like, I am too tired for anything besides my job and this podcast. So, like, the Second and Charles near me, when they do their penny a page sale, like, I'll go and, like, people will be like, oh, I came here yesterday and I hid this book here and I was just like, this is Olympic level logic. And, like, I just like to be surprised. Like, we'll see what they have when I get there.
I will, there's just energy that I can put into things, and that's not one of them anymore. Yeah. Also, Bookstagram. I haven't made a single thing for Bookstagram because I'm tired. And I'm like, I think one day I will get it back a little bit after this settles down. Maybe probably like in the winter. I don't know. Or maybe I'm just done. I don't know. But my brain capacity, that's where being creative and making anything like a flat lay, like on Canva, I'm just like.
Well, I mean, you have been doing a lot on the Freckled Page Instagram. Yes. I've been seeing it.
Luckily, that's not me. That's my friend Rebecca, who runs our socials, because I ain't got time for that. And she does fantastic. Yeah.
My mind is so blown right now. Rebecca, like, shout out Rebecca.
She does a really great job. I could never. She does polls and, like, voting on stickers in the stories. Like,
yes.
She does all of these great things that, guess what? That would never happen if I was in charge.
Oh my God, I've totally responded so
well,
like a smart ass to them.
But I can see them, so when you do that, I know it's for me, so I'll respond to you. And she knows.
No, but now Rebecca also knows.
Probably like, who is this person? I'm like, don't worry, I know her. That's why she's being a butthole.
I didn't realize that, and someone else had access, or I would have cleaned up my act a little bit.
Yeah, well, Rebecca, and she enjoys it. She's like, this is so fun. I'm like, yeah.
Thanks, Rebecca. You're a good time too. Love the content.
So, but she does a great job, and we would never, ever. She does things I don't even think of that I couldn't. I just do not have the brain capacity for whatever reason. However, that presents in my brain, I can't do it. I can't do it on top of keeping track of everything in the store, you know? And that's okay. And she doesn't mind it. She gets to stay home with her baby, and she comes here for an hour to take pictures and then goes about her day.
Right. People have different skill sets too. They have different strengths. Like, why not lean on each other?
And it takes a lot. I mean, even when I did Bookstagram, it would take me a long time because I'm just not a creative or artistic person. Like, it takes me a minute to even get something that's like semi-passable, and then I have to do 600 different edits to it. So, like, I'm just not naturally gifted that way, and she does a great job. And I was like, you know what? And she did it for the previous owner. And I was like, if you would love to keep doing it, I would love to keep paying you to do it because I know myself, and that is not going to be something I have time for.
Yeah. And once again, like, that's not a bad thing. It's just knowing your resources, taking advantage of resources that help benefit everyone. She gets a paycheck, doing what she likes. You don't have to worry about doing something that isn't your forte.
Our online presence is way better than it would be otherwise, you know? Like, I'm just, especially while we're building our website, like we have to do something, and it was just not. I am so grateful for her and that she does it, and she does such a good job.
Oh my God, when that website drops, I'm going to have it on my bookmarks bar.
I am too. I'm the most impatient, and a lot goes into building a website, right? Like, I know this. I'm just impatient. And I was like, I want it now. And I don't understand why it's not here. And my sister, who does our marketing and is building our website, she's like, okay, well, there's like 60 parts to this. I'm like, fine, I guess I will allow that. Like, it's like, I know it's involved and it takes a lot. And we do have a lot of things that we need. We need like book club returner forms and places that they can sign up for book clubs and sign up for like a newsletter if we want and all blah, blah, blah. All of these things, right? I'm just impatient. I'm like, I don't understand. I want it now.
As an IT professional, it has to look pretty, and that takes a special skill set. Like, that is not my skill set. Like, I have a
That
UX
is my
developer.
sister's skill set. She does marketing for Big Joe and is fantastic. So that's not me. I'm like, so I get it. I'm just impatient. I want it.
But there's also like the data go vroom in the background, which is like, it can be as pretty as you want, but if it overcharges your customer or
Exactly.
doesn't actually submit your order, like, you're
Or if it
fucked.
runs like poopy dude. Yeah, like I get it. And we want as minimal hiccups as possible. So it takes a minute. I'm just impatient and I like instant gratification and I want it now because it's gonna be so
Listen,
great.
it's gonna be great, and as soon as it's available, but you don't have it on the website, you send me that link, and I will beta test the crap out of that website.
Yes, because don't even know. I would just be clicking and be like, it's great.
I would literally like put my IT hat on and tell my work friends, like, go spam this and see what we can
Literally.
do to make it break. We did that for Goodreads. We tried pen testing it and stuff like that. It was a unique team building experience
It was. Yeah.
because it's old as shit.
Yeah, it is. And that's what we don't want. So I'll be like, I have a great beta testers for this website. Got a group of people ready to break it. Let's go. And my stepdad does IT and he writes code and he does all computer blah blah. And so he's like, we need blah blah blah. Blah. And I'm like, I love that you're telling me, but that means nothing to me. And
I'll translate for you. Just
exactly
screenshot it and send it to me,
right.
and I will
I'm like,
translate it
if
for
I
you.
don't need to know this information, please don't tell me. I don't need to know. This is not relevant to anything in my day. If it makes it work, great. I don't care. Like I don't know what to tell you.
Just imagine him being like, it needs to be stored in the cache, and like that means nothing to
Literally,
anyone.
he's like, you need blah 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 and this, and I'm like, bro, I love that you're telling me this and that you're helping with this, but I don't need to know about it. I need you to just say, I'm working on it. It's done. There's a problem. Like those are the three things we need to cover.
This is the CEO, COO, C2O, CRO. Like, I just need the headlines.
Yep. I need like the subject of the email. I do not need the information in the email.
Like, problem, not problem.
Right? You just tell me when it's ready. I don't need to know the particulars. We don't need to bog down my brain with that business.
All right. Well, for listeners, once the link is up, I will definitely drop it in the description below. But Katie, for those that missed it, where can they go to follow and stay up to date with what's going on at the Freckled Page?
All the socials are the Freckle Page. So Instagram is at the Freckle Page. Facebook is just the Freckle Page. The website is frecklepage.com. Yeah, and we have a great social media person, as we've discussed. Our Instagram's the most active, probably. And yeah,
Well,
that's
I
where we
will
post all
have
our business.
I will have those links below. Go follow and support our book Barbie, the bookstagrammer that made her dreams come true. But also shout out Rebecca, surprise, like, I'm gonna start every message to the Freckle Page with hi Rebecca now.
Clean up your act.
But yeah, I gotta be mindful.
That's it.
But yeah, like, please follow, support, continue to support your indie bookstores. I will also update the description when the online shopping link is available. While you're there, please comment, like, subscribe this podcast, however you're listening, in your ear holes. I appreciate it so much. But yeah, thanks, Katie, for giving your experience.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.